I want to welcome everyone to tonight's NEWRA meeting. Thank you for coming. It's a nice night. We will try to end a little early as our schedule says. I always say that and I always fall short. I'll really try hard this time. I'm going to make my president's reports very abbreviated to try to kickstart us in that direction. I want to let everyone know that we are being videotaped. Matt Conti, northendwaterfront.com, kind enough to, so anyone wants to watch this, if you ask a question and you want to hear it again, you know, you'll be able to. It's fantastic what Matt does. We have one voting issue, and then we have an update from the Parks Department on the dog park, and then we have, I think, a very important discussion on some of the large projects, VRA run projects. You know, we have started looking at those projects, even though the official city process doesn't have neighborhood groups such as this weighing in as much as the VRA and their IAG process, but we're, you know, we need to lean into these things. These projects are very important, and David Kubiak is going to tell us a fair amount about 88 North Washington Street. But before we get into the agenda, I wanted to ask if we have various city officials in the room, if they would like to introduce themselves. I know we have a new city official, or state official actually.
Luigi Natali, lived in the North End my whole life. I worked for Senator Boncour. I'm his legislative aide for the North End. I'm excited to be here. I grew up on Salem Street. I know most of the people in here, but everyone that doesn't know me, I'm easy to talk to. If you ever need anything, let me know. I have my card here. I'm happy to be here, so thank you.
Great.
So it's open cast on here this month. Okay, sorry I missed last meeting. So I just have a couple of announcements from the city. First is on Wednesday, July 15th, June 15th, excuse me, there will be a community forum on disability issues with Disabilities Commissioner Kristen McGough. It'll be held from 2 to 4 p.m. at the BRA boardroom in the 9th floor of City Hall. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments about disability issues, please try to attend. Secondly, you might have remembered a little while ago, Age-Friendly Boston came through the neighborhood. They had a meeting at the Mariners House. So they will be sharing their reports that they found on Thursday, June 16th from 10:30 a.m. to 12 o'clock p.m. at the Old South Church on 645 Boylston Street. So definitely check that out if age-friendly is something you're interested in. What's next? Okay, Thursday, June 16th, there'll be a VRA public meeting for 88 North Washington Street, 10th Street. It's at 6 o'clock, VRA boardroom, 9th floor, City Hall. I know you guys are discussing it later, but just wanted to make sure that we're on this meeting. Also, a fun event coming up is the Anthony Wrinkles Morella Street Tournament. That'll be Saturday, June 25th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Gassy, so definitely come by, watch a couple of teams of young men play. It's all for a good cause. All donations will be going towards autism awareness. Lastly, the Mayor's Coffee Hour, which was originally supposed to be held this past Wednesday, has been rescheduled for Wednesday, June 29th, and it will be at 9:30 at Christopher Columbus Park, so definitely come by, say hi to the mayor, grab a cup of coffee, and a complimentary plan.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other city officials?
Actually, I just have a question for you.
Sure.
What time, there's an MHP meeting on the 15th, right? Do you know what time?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock? Thanks.
Great. Question?
No, I'm not really official, but I work for the Parks Department. I'm here with the Deep Filippo
Okay, great. Well,
project,
so
Gassy
you will,
project,
and
dog
you will
park.
be speaking later on, right?
Yeah, it's mostly the landscape architect, Ohio Vic will be presented.
That's great. We appreciate it. Well, that's fantastic. So I'm going to, as I said, the President's report is abbreviated. This is pretty much it. I'm going to ask the various committees to report, starting with membership. Parks and Open Spaces is normally represented by Robin Reed, who is under the weather tonight. Both of us just got back from a long trip, and it took a little bit of a toll on Robin. So David Goggins is going to be doing that. And I see that Victor Bronya just got back from the VRA board meeting, and his ZLC report will include an update on that, and public safety will that cleanup there. So Membership.
If there is anyone who got here before I had the ballots, be sure you come and get a ballot from me, and we have some new members here tonight, so welcome, and if there is anyone who would like to join, just fill out a form and give it to me.
Parks and open spaces.
As Ford mentioned, I'm filling in for Robin. You may recall from last month's meeting that the volunteers who participated in the Parks and Open Space Committee successfully completed a tree inventory of the north end and submitted those results to both the Parks Department and the chair of the City Council Parks Committee, who's our own Sal LaMattina. That information went out to Sal's office on May 14th, and the following week, coincidentally or not, a truckload of trees found their way into the north end on Thursday, May 19th. About a dozen saplings were planted throughout the neighborhood, filling in a lot of the holes that we encountered in our inventory. So we're very grateful to both the city and our city councilor for listening to us. Other than that, we are probably going to have one more Parks and Open Spaces meeting before the summer starts. It was supposed to have been this week, but since Robin was traveling, we're going to schedule it for sometime later this month. So keep your ears open. We'll try to advertise that as soon as we have a date.
And we are always looking for volunteers on that committee and the other committees. I think what David and Robin were able to do, and I think there probably was a bit of a causal relationship there. Sal had asked for that tree inventory. He promised action, and we got very quick action on it. And it just proves that if you get a group of volunteers together in a neighborhood, and you decide you really want something like tree holes that were empty or dead and to be replaced, you can get action from the city. Sometimes it's very unpredictable where you'll get the action from, but we are very grateful that we were able to get that going. And trees on streets are actually planted by the Parks Department, but it's managed by Public Works, and it's very complicated. But it got done, and that's remarkable and amazing. And there's a good feeling when volunteers snap into action, do something, put some paperwork together, and then the city responds. And I think that was a textbook case of how to do it. And if more people want to get involved in Parks and Open Spaces, I'm sure Robin and David would welcome. The ZLC, Victor,
Yes.
what did you find out?
Well, do you want me to talk about Parcel 9 now or later?
Well, I think if there's any big news on Parcel 9, like if they took a vote, but you should probably save the rest of it for later.
Okay, yes. The breaking news is the BRA board voted to approve the design presented by the staff in its current state. And I'll tell you more about it later. Otherwise, the usual ZLC report is ZLC committee meetings, past and to come. The past meeting was on May 24th, where 130B Salem Street was discussed, and that is on the agenda for a vote today. ZLC to come is June 28th. There is one definitely on the agenda, which will be on the agenda when the agenda is produced. The Wine Bottega at 341 Hanover Street is being sold by Kerry Platt to Kimberly Scott. No change in operation or hours, and no changes to the existing store. Battery Wharf Hotel has emailed us seeking the addition of live entertainment to its certificate of occupancy. I didn't know that live entertainment went on a certificate of occupancy, unless it's something that is a new procedure since the mayor's licensing board has now been merged with what we used to call the liquor licensing board. Perhaps that's it. Anyway, they've asked us if we'll just don't do anything and write a no objection letter. I'm not sure that we can do that. Perhaps we can invite them to the ZLC meeting and see what they have to say about it. They're saying there's no change in the past live entertainment, that it was simply not on the certificate of occupancy. Zoning gets into the picture because they have to reapply for a conditional use restaurant permit, although they've said that there will be no live entertainment in the restaurant. Anyway, that's all I can say. Finally, letters written since our members meeting a year ago, June 11/15. We wrote 13 letters to the two boards. 7 were letters of non-opposition by vote of members. 4 were letters of no objection by vote of the executive committee, and 2 letters were letters in opposition. Those were 3 to 5 Quincy Court, the addition of a story to the building, and 536 Commercial Street, the enlargement of the roof deck, and that is the ZLC report for now.
Okay, great, thank you. Public safety.
Good evening, everyone. Great to see another robust turnout as always. Unfortunately, I was not able to make the public safety meeting last Thursday, just for disclosure, but I am here to give you my report nonetheless. Citywide crime statistics are down 2% year to date through the end of May. District-wide, A1, including the North End, of course, those figures are down 4% year to date. There were several larcenies in the North End area during the past 30 days leading up to last Thursday's monthly public safety meeting. An iPhone went missing at Battery Wharf, as did 2 packages, one of which was at a North Square residence, the other of which was on Tileston Street. A car was broken into on Richmond Street, and a backpack, 3 iPhones, and a pen were reported stolen from the car. On Endicott Street, a victim heard someone opening doors to apartments. She reported seeing 2 males in the rear of the building who have yet to be identified. Detective Chucky Wilson did attend last week's meeting. He sometimes does attend, and he reported that they are following a suspect regarding the recent increase in the neighborhood of package larcenies, but they don't quite have enough evidence yet to make an arrest. Of course, as always, the police do encourage residents to report future incidents to 911. 3 arrests were made in the North End over the past 30 days, one of which was on Cooper Street. The early morning of May 21st, police responded to a loud party disturbance that was reported by a nearby resident. A combative male suspect was arrested after reports that he and several party guests had been jumping from roof to roof on Cooper Street, thereby disturbing the people that live there. The neighbor photographed the entire incident and forwarded it to the responding police officers. The suspect was drunk and combative, once again, placed under arrest for disturbing the peace and for interfering with a police officer while speaking with witnesses. The second of the 3 arrests, May 29th, so that was Memorial Day weekend, 8:15 p.m. Officers reported to a call on Endicott Street for, quote-unquote, a male acting crazy and carrying a knife. On arrival, the suspect was found in the street acting irrational and arguing with pedestrians. No knife was found, but the suspect was arrested for being a disorderly person and in possession of Class E pills. Last but not least, the 3rd arrest, 585 Commercial Street, May 19th at about 1:19 in the morning. A traffic stop revealed an outstanding Rhode Island warrant, and therefore the suspect was arrested. There weren't any complaints received by BPD from North End residents in regards to the recent large-scale events that have taken place just outside the North End, including Boston Calling, Memorial Day weekend at City Hall Plaza, where 20,000 people attended. So that's great to hear that we didn't have any complaints coming from our neighbor. But just so you know, in case you don't already know, Boston Calling will be moving to Austin next year. No more City Hall location for that. And that's pretty much it. As always, the public safety meetings are the first Thursday of the month in this room at 6 o'clock p.m. So for next month, that would be Thursday, July 7th. Thank you very much.
Very good. I have one question. You weren't at the last public safety meeting, as you mentioned, so you might not have to answer this, but I'm curious if in the recent meetings, the police were saying anything about the gang activity that led to there was a big sweep today of a gang sweep in East Boston today.
Nothing has come up at the meetings at all.
You know, I've mentioned this before to the captain, but just across the harbor, there are gunshots and there are murders. Belle Isle Marsh, I think there have been 2 murders in the past month in the marsh in the daylight during the daytime. This is a little troubling because that used to be a very safe place. to go hiking during the day.
The last I heard from the captain, I think I reported on this maybe 1 or 2 months ago, was that they are in constant contact with the regional, what is called the Regional Intelligence Center.
Yeah.
And so they know what's going on in East Boston, but they said they're not worried about any potential threats to the north end at this time. There hasn't been anything.
All right. Well, please let them know in a very polite way that there are some of us who are just getting a little worried. And we'd love to hear some reassurance. And also, I think we in the North End have a really great picture compared to a lot of neighborhoods in Boston. So I know that it's, a lot of people in East Boston and Dorchester might look at us and say, what are they complaining about? They have some guy picking up packages off of stoops, and that's the biggest problem that they have. But, I mean, it's just so close, some of the gang activity, the MS. I think MS-13 was essentially, put out of business today, at least temporarily. But there are other gangs.
If I hear anything else, I'll be sure to pass it.
Yeah, just, we'd love to know what's going on. So, thank you. Great. On any of these reports that we've done, I just want to ask the members if we have any questions or any comments before we get into our the zoning and license application voting item. I thought it would be nice to just open the floor up to those if there are any questions.
Well,
Okay.
for Kathy isn't here, she had another meeting.
Oh, okay. I moved, and it's overcast, so we know it's not because it's good.
Yeah, so we don't just want this.
Yes, yeah, exactly.